Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back. My name is Justin and this is Dad Discovers, where I'm learning about the world through YouTube. Today we are looking at a video titled A Typical British Christmas. I figured with this week being Christmas week, what's a better time to see how different cultures celebrate Christmas? So let's go ahead and jump right into this video. Let's see what they got.
Let's play a game. British Christmas or American Christmas? Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas? Father.
Oh, maybe this video more compares the British Christmas from the American Christmas. I thought it was just about British Christmas. But you guys don't say Merry Christmas? You say Happy Christmas. Okay.
Christmas or Santa Claus? Bauble.
And you call Santa Father Christmas? Okay, that's different. What's bauble?
Or Christmas ornament. If you
Christmas ornament. Well, even over here, Christmas ornament is said many different ways. Like, I usually call them bulbs, and my wife calls them balls, Christmas balls. But yeah, let's see.
Choose the second option every time. You are celebrating American Christmas. Merry Christmas,
That I am.
Santa Claus, Christmas ornament. If, on the other hand, you say Happy Christmas, Father Christmas, and you call this a bauble, you are celebrating Christmas the British way.
Bauble.
There is nothing wrong with the American way. In fact, it's the way that tends to dominate pop culture because of Hollywood. However,
Right.
today we will be examining your typical British Christmas and
good.
unpack all the
is what I wanna
chaos,
see.
the wonderful chaos that goes along with this holiday. Today is another English listening comprehension exercise, but obviously with a festive theme. I couldn't let the Christmas season pass without making a themed video because, as your typical British girl, I love everything about Christmas. I love the lead up, I love the day, I love everything about it. And so I thought it would be wonderful to do this lesson in which I teach you about the British Christmas. You will pick up new phrases, new vocabulary, and just get a little insight into British culture. First,
Perfect.
let's address the build-up. Christmas in Britain never arrives quietly. By mid-November, there is already All I Want for Christmas blaring in shops, and all the supermarkets compete for the most emotional, nostalgic.
She said mid-November. Here, it seems like it picks up earlier and earlier every year. Because, yeah, we celebrate Thanksgiving the last Thursday of November, and well before Thanksgiving, there's already, you go to the store and there's already Christmas decorations everywhere. There's the artificial Christmas trees up already. There's the big Santa blow up inflatable decorations.
Advert on TV. Streets are lit
In the
up
advertisements.
with fairy lights, and there's something genuinely really magical about it. Things sparkle, there are Christmas markets that pop up, you drink mulled wine, and then when December comes, there is the Advent calendar. One door for every day of December. And you can find different ones. You can get chocolate calendars, you can get beauty calendars, and it is just accepted that in December you have chocolate for breakfast, big handmade Advent calendar with little pockets, and in each pocket you put a little treat. I have a sweet tooth, always.
Actually, now that I think about it, when we were children, we used to have, we didn't each have one, but there was one my mother had set up, like in the living room area, where it had, 1 through 25, and each day you open the little doors. I do remember something like that.
Have, always will, and I would eat ahead
remember
of the
chocolates
day.
in them, though.
And then, really naughtily, I sometimes would take my sister's chocolate, and then I would be in big trouble. There's all the songs, there's the atmosphere. It just is a really beautiful lead up It's my favourite time of year, I have to say. Children always take part
think it's a lot of
in
people's
the
favorite time of
nativity
year.
plays where you have children playing Jesus and Mary, and at work you have your Christmas jumper day when everyone comes in wearing jumpers that are very Christmassy themed. To be honest, this one is a bit understated. I'll put some pictures up of how over top these Christmas jumpers can be. You always have your
Yeah, we have, we call them sweaters, and we have, what do they call it? Ugly sweater day. I think it's ugly sweater day, where you wear an over the top Christmas sweater.
Christmas office party or your Christmas work party where people get, well, they get quite drunk and jolly, and it's just a fun time. In the office, we do something called Secret Santa, where you pull out
Getting drunk at the office party, probably not a great idea. I think at all the office parties I've ever been to, there may be like one or two people that get drunk, and it seems like they typically regret it later.
name, and then you have to be that person's
Secret
Santa,
Santa, yeah.
and you have to get them a little gift before Christmas. And then sometimes there is a bit of stress because obviously there is the Christmas shopping. There are those who are incredibly organized and do.
I am terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible at Christmas shopping. I always put it off to the last minute, and then I regret it because I'm scrambling around, and I'm like, next year I need to start earlier, but I never do. But this year I finally did. I finally finished all my Christmas shopping a couple weeks ago, and now I'm just kind of smooth sailing into Christmas, which is way nicer than previous years where, it'll be 2 days before Christmas, and I'm like, what should I get this person?
Their Christmas shopping in the January sales of the year before, or there are the Black Friday gift
shopping.
buyers. I fall into this category where with all the sales at the end of November, that's when I tend to get all my Christmas gifts. And then you have the last minuters. When I was 18 working in a shop, the amount of people who would run in last minute and say, oh, I have to buy a Christmas gift. I have to buy a Christmas present for my girlfriend. It was quite funny. So, Christmas Eve, it's cozy. We hang up the stockings by the fire. We watch a general classic like Love Actually or some sort of Christmassy film, and we eat just one more mince pie. I will address food properly in a moment. There are a few British staples when it comes to Christmas. One is mince pie. It's a sweet pastry, and inside you have raisins and Christmassy type spices in a sort of, I'm not selling it very well. I'll put a picture up. It's quite...
I'm not a huge raisin fan, but I would definitely try it. But she's just saying a second ago, you guys put your stockings up Christmas Eve? That's interesting, because we put our stocking up like the same day we put our tree up, which was, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we put it up like right with the rest of the decorations. Now we put them up empty. We don't actually put stuff in them until Christmas Eve, the evening of Christmas Eve.
An acquired taste, but it is so typically British and associated with Christmas that, to be honest, even if you don't naturally love the taste, in a way you do because it just reminds you of Christmas. And we have Christmas cake. Some of the German traditions have come across. So I grew up in a household where we'd have Lebkuchen, sorry, German watches for my pronunciation, but German hearts, Christmas hearts, and we'd have Stollen and that sort of thing. So lots and lots of sweet treats. Sorry, I just noticed my microphone might have been brushing against my hair, so sorry if there was a bit of extra background noise. So yes, Christmas Eve, we put out our stockings by the fireplace, if we have a fireplace, and for Father Christmas, we normally put out a glass of port or sherry or something, and a mince pie, carrot for the reindeer, of course, a carrot for Rudolph, and then obviously in the morning for the children, it's gone, which when I was growing up, I took as indisputable proof that Father Christmas existed. Because
did she say you guys put out alcohol for Father Santa or Father Christmas? That'd be interesting, because then by the end of the night, Father Christmas would be loaded. Yeah, traditionally we just put out cookies and milk.
because the mince pie that we put
how it
out
got so
for him
big.
had been eaten, and the sherry or the whiskey we put out had been drunk. So obviously he had to have eaten the mince pie, and he had to have drunk the sherry. It was the only explanation for it disappearing. Christmas morning begins, and the stocking gifts are opened, sometimes on the bed. On Christmas Day, it's tradition to go for a walk in the countryside or in a park, and everyone is very jolly. Some people are wearing Christmas.
Nice. So over there, when do the kids get up, and do they get up and start opening gifts, starting with the stocking, or is there a big breakfast first? Because I know here, when we were younger, and even when my kids were smaller, they go to bed early on Christmas Eve. You know, it takes them forever to fall asleep because they're so excited. And then Christmas morning, we're up at like 5:30 in the morning, and you know the kids want to start opening stuff. So we open gifts, and then we kind of sit around. The kids play. Same thing when I was a kid. We'd play with our toys, and parents usually watching TV or starting some of the baking or the cooking. Now, my mother always did the baking on Christmas Eve, the day before. And I think a lot of people do that here. But yeah, you kind of get meal prep ready. Because on Christmas Day, just like our Thanksgiving Day, we eat dinner way earlier in the day than normal. We usually eat by like 2 p.m., maybe even 1 p.m., depending on where you're at.
Hats, like Father Christmas hats, and you say Happy Christmas to everyone that passes. We don't actually really tend to say Merry Christmas. That is an Americanism. I think Americans find it strange that we say Happy Christmas, but there we go. We say Happy Christmas.
Not strange, just different, just not what we're used to.
And we
It would definitely
sing
throw me off
carols,
the first time somebody said it to
some
me if I
typical
didn't know.
carols like, I don't know,
Christmas carols.
Hark the Herald Angels Sing and Deck the Halls and all those kind of Christmas carols. The main event is Christmas lunch, which is usually served a bit later. It's just typical. You have your big roast turkey with stuffing, roast potatoes, roast parsnips, roast sweet potatoes. You have Brussels sprouts, which gets mixed opinions from people. Bacon, sausages. It's a big, big feast. Oh, one of my favorites is bread sauce, which doesn't sound that nice from the name, but trust me, it's delicious. Bread sauce goes along with gravy and other things, and you put it with your turkey, and it just, mwah, it's delicious. And then for pudding, we have something traditional called Christmas pudding. Again, a bit of acquired taste. It's almost like a fruit cake soaked in brandy, but the exciting bit is then we light it on fire. Because why not? Do you know what? I have no idea why. The tradition must come from somewhere. I need to look it up. But it is tradition. We light the Christmas pudding and it goes, Another big tradition, Christmas crackers. These are things that you pull apart and they go bang, and they are so typically British. And inside them you have a little toy, a little trinket, and you have these tacky paper crown hats that everyone wears, and a terrible Christmas joke that you tell, and it's something along the lines of, why do you never see Father Christmas in hospital? Because he has private elf care. Lots of terrible puns. And then there tends to be the games. We play lots of fun games in the afternoon, like Articulate, charades. And then when it comes to present opening, which obviously as a child is the most important thing, I find families tend to have different traditions with that. So my family tended to spread the presents out across the day, but the afternoon tends to be quite lazy. You've had your Christmas walk in the morning, and then you are absolutely stuffed from a massive lunch. I'm going to just show, this was quite a few years ago, I did a little montage of our Christmas, so I'll put that up so you get a little idea of what it's like, and you can see us playing games and that sort of thing. There are so many things I forgot, like,
So it's dark there, so are they eating a big lunch and a big dinner? Or is this just one big meal?
Christmas tree, that lovely smell, putting up the Christmas tree. And then Christmas TV in the UK tends to be quite a big deal. You have Christmas specials, something like the Downton Abbey Christmas special, though everything has been changed by streaming services like Netflix and things. It used to be that everyone would tune in and watch Christmas specials. Oh, so many.
Yeah, same here. I remember when I was younger, everybody would be watching on Christmas Day, either like A Christmas Carol, you know, or not a Christmas Carol, A Christmas Story, you know, the kid with the, you'll shoot your eye out with the BB gun, or like I remember Charlie Brown had a Christmas special. I forget, Charlie Brown Christmas maybe, and then there was like the old Santa Claus and Rudolph movies. So yeah, that's a big thing here too.
I've also forgotten. I might do a part 2. If you find this interesting, you might be finding this very boring, in which case I won't. Another big one I need to mention, because I don't think this is such a big day in America. Any American viewers can correct me. The day after Christmas Day, we call Boxing Day, and that is also part of our holiday.
I had never heard of Boxing Day until I was just looking at a video just a little bit ago on Canadian Christmas, and they celebrate Boxing Day the day after. I had never heard of it prior to that. Yeah, for us, the day after Christmas is kind of like, you know, business as usual, back to normal. A lot of people try to take the next day off, but a lot of jobs, you're back at work.
So we tend to have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. All of these three are quite a big deal. And Boxing Day is still a bank holiday, so no one works on Boxing Day either. The name Boxing Day comes from when rich families essentially would give their servants presents on Boxing Day. Boxing Day is essentially a day to decompress after Christmas, but also you have all of the leftovers of the massive meal you had the day before, and then you have the gap between Christmas and New Year's. Often people have quite a big hangover. Oh, that's another part of the big British tradition. We tend to drink quite a lot over Christmas. So we'll get gradually tipsier and tipsier throughout the day. It's just fun. It's fun. The aim isn't to get drunk. The aim is just to maintain a steady level of happy tipsiness throughout the day. As you can tell from how I've spoken, I am a Christmas enthusiast. I love this time of year. However, I also want to acknowledge it can be a bit stressful. You know, it's when you see all your family, there's quite a lot of pressure.
I used to love this time of year, especially when I was a kid. But it just seems like the older I get, the less, I don't know, the less like you see people like really celebrating. And then when I was young, we would go to my grandmother's for the Christmas dinner, and it would be like my aunts and uncles, my cousins. There would be a lot of people there. Like, it was a big dinner. But now, and then like the older you get, it just seems like there was less and less people. And honestly, it's kind of sad, because it was great back then. But now it's like families kind of getting little, you know, do their own thing. You don't really see your cousins or your aunts and uncles, not like it used to.
On present giving, there does tend to be the odd family argument or bust up because you're spending a lot of time together. So
yeah, this is when politics is brought up in America.
Yes, I'll acknowledge it has its flaws too. And the other thing, I'm getting deeper now with my thinking, but it has become so commercial and so consumer focused, all about how many gifts you give, what everyone has for Christmas. I remember there'll be quite a lot of pressure at school of oh, what did you get for Christmas?
Especially school kids, because you go back to school, and then we used to have, what was it, show and tell right after Christmas, where you get to take in a gift and you could show everybody, which, you know, the other kids are looking to see how many gifts you got compared to how many I got, and what was your most expensive gift, and what was my most expensive gift. And I remember those days.
Look, I got this and this. You think about what it's meant to celebrate, but now how it's celebrated with all the consumerism and the commercial focus. And I think that should give people slight pause and make people think, oh, do we get Christmas right? Having said that, I still absolutely love Christmas,
Or are we way
as you
off
can
track
see.
from where it started?
I hope that was useful. I hope you enjoyed that little peek into what a British Christmas looks like. I missed out so much. This was unscripted. I didn't plan it really. So if you want a proper, more structured Christmas lesson, I can do that too, with all the Christmas vocabulary.
Nice. Yeah, that was good. That's exactly what I wanted to see, like British traditions for Christmas. I need to watch a video on like food because she was talking about the minced pie and the what was the other thing? Christmas pudding. But yeah, like stuff like that. I've never even heard of any of that stuff. For our dinners, it's kind of a lot like yours. Turkey, although a lot of people instead of having turkey, we have ham because we just had turkey a month ago for Thanksgiving. So a lot of people opt for a ham. But yeah, it's usually mashed potatoes and green bean casserole is a big thing, and Brussels sprouts are good. Brussels sprouts are really good. And then we'll have like sweet potato pie, but there's a whole bunch of different dishes, macaroni and cheese, and I would say every family probably has different dishes, just depending on what their traditions are, or even their cultural background. But yeah, it was fun. That was fun. I liked seeing how you guys celebrate Christmas. Let me know if this is accurate, if there's something that you do that wasn't in this video, or something that you eat that was not in this video, or just if she got everything right. Because I'm sure everybody does it a little different over there also. But thank you for watching this with me, and I will see you in the next one.